Hey everyone, we're back with another mountain bike progression video. Today I'm doing something a little bit different,
but kind of the same.
This is my first time working on my Kona Process 153 after the two bike shakedown days that I did over the past couple weeks. I've just been trying to feel this bike out because, as y'all know, I started mountain biking at Mountain Creek, and there were a couple situations where I was like, man, I want to make sure that my bike is able to handle this kind of abuse, is able to get through the day and not give me any problems. So I wanted to do a couple of sample rides. I did the one at Brandywine with my buddy Tommy, and I just did the last one at the local bike park, which is about as close as I feel like I can get to riding at Mountain Creek without actually going there. So as we're watching this really special moment of me giving this bike its first wash under my ownership, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of a backstory. For those who are new to my channel, I have a background in motocross. I used to pretty much ride anything with wheels on dirt ever since I was a little kid. And eventually I got into motocross racing when I was about 11 or 12 years old. Did a few years of racing, and then the circumstances of life, you know, get a job, now you got a car, and I just wasn't able to keep riding, unfortunately, and had to hang the helmet up about 10 years ago. And ever since then, I haven't had any other hobby really scratch that itch for me. I absolutely loved going and riding. Didn't matter if I was racing or whatever it was I was doing. If I was riding my dirt bike, I was having a good day. So ever since then, I've had this huge piece of me essentially missing, and you know, life definitely was not the same ever since then. Luckily, you know, I'm very grateful I had a couple of buddies hook me up with a trip to Mountain Creek, and that was my first time ever going mountain biking. If you told me, hey, let's go mountain biking, I'm thinking we're just going to be riding down a single trail or a single wide through the woods or some field, riding over rocks, and, you know, maybe there's a few jumps. I knew of Red Bull Rampage and stuff like that, but I didn't know you could go to like a ski resort and ride a lift up and then ride down. I thought you just had to pedal up the entire time, and I was not about that. Going to Mountain Creek, man, that really took me back to my motocross days, and I've just been absolutely hooked on this mountain biking thing ever since. And that's pretty much what started off this whole series. I wanted to document how well could this go for me as someone who, yes, I've ridden dirt bikes, you know, in the past, but with that 10-year gap of experience, how am I going to be starting off? Like, where am I going to be in about a year? So that's what really brought this documentation of my journey to life. So with that being said, I really appreciate you guys watching what I'm doing. For those who have watched my old content and are still watching this, I really appreciate it. It means more than you know. So looking to the future with this bike, what I want to get out of this machine is something that I can take to a place like Mountain Creek, ride the whole day, not have a problem. When I went to Brandywine, when I was hitting that drop gap, or whatever you want to call that little double gap, the last time I hit it there at the end of the video, shortly after the camera died on me, I realized that I had a flat rear tire. So I don't know exactly what caused that. I don't know if it was me landing too hard, or if I landed on something, or if it has something to do with the wheel itself. My buddy Tommy was telling me how the wheel is more set up for like a cross-country bike, not necessarily something that is going to be doing jumps. So whether that has something to do with it or not, I'm not sure. When I took it apart, there wasn't a lot of sealant in there. I'm sure that had something to do with it, but As of right now, it just has a TPU tube in there, and I'm just rocking it like that. Rode the whole day with it like that at the local, didn't give me a single problem, so I'm just going to keep rocking with it like that for now until I get a little more confident with my ability working with tubeless tires. So I've been into cycling before I started riding mountain bikes, but nothing like mountain biking, or honestly even road cycling. I ride fixed gear track bikes with my wife, and they're about as simple of a bike that you can possibly get. It's just one gear that is literally fastened to the wheel, so you can't even coast. It's locked on there. Whatever that rear wheel is doing is what your pedals are going to be doing. So we don't even run brakes on our bikes. You know, like I said, no gears, no suspension, none of that. So this is all very new to me. So with that being said, that's also why we're here watching me do service work to this machine, because this is all new to me. I feel like this would be just as worthy being a part of the progression series as me actually riding, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of moments where you're probably going to see me get frustrated, because that's what I tend to do when I'm trying to learn something and I keep screwing up. So hopefully that'll be entertaining for you guys. Looking to the future with this thing, I do want to get into the Thursday races at Mountain Creek. Want to see how well that will go on this bike. Granted, it's probably on the older side of bikes that would be competing. Going into next season, I want to go to Mountain Creek and hit all of the drops by the end of next season on this bike. So I'm just making sure I got a good, capable machine. And the best way to make sure that is to take good care of it. You know, like as a wise man once said, if you take good care of your equipment will take care of you. So here you're going to see a great example of progression in the garage, because y'all saw me use that NASA grade sonic cleaner for the chain, but here I look like a caveman discovering fire with a shock pump in my hands for the first time. What I really wanted to check is the condition of my frame pivot bearings. Apparently most people service these every season, but as far as I know, these could have 10 seasons rolled into their races. I stood here way longer than I'd like to admit, just watching this swing arm move back and forth. Like I said, this is completely new to me, so the fascination was quite real. Luckily though, everything seemed okay. I didn't hear any grit, so I went ahead and put it back together. Now, before I wrap this video up, I just want to say thank you again for watching my video. It's kind of weird for me to record myself, but unfortunately, that's what I need to do to tell my story. I never thought I'd say this, but long story short, I couldn't be happier I've added mountain biking to my list of hobbies, and I can't wait to have you along for the next ride. Peace.